Trekking in Puligundu Rock Mountain was one of the most spine-chilling and challenging treks we have ever experienced. This is a solid twin rock formation with a height of 1,000 feet, situated at Chennasamudra village of Chittoor district in Andhra Pradesh. Puligundu is about 200 kilometers from Bangalore and 150 kilometers from Chennai. We started our journey from Bangalore at 4 in the morning. On the way, we stopped at Hotel Salam for breakfast. We ordered hot idlis, which came with a special chutney and sambar. We then continued our journey. We passed the Kavalakunda Dam, where we saw people paying homage and offering prayers to the deceased ancestors. It's believed to help the souls of the deceased family members attain peace and salvation. We continued our journey and took a right turn from Penamur Road, where we saw a closer view of Puligundu. We took a left turn and reached the base of the hill, our trekking starting point. You need to park your vehicles here and walk. We began our trek, joining few others who were already ahead. It's believed that in this dual rock mountain, one mountain represents Lord Shiva and the other represents Devi Parvathy. Every Shiva temple has its own significance. Similarly, Puligundu mountain itself resembles a Shiva Linga, and the Shiva temple at the top makes it special. There's a small shrine on the stairs under a banyan tree, with stripes of clothes and bangles tied to it. This is a part of a healing ritual, especially for infertility. We continued a trek and reached a platform that houses the shrines of Ganesh, Vishnu and Devi Parvati, while Sai Baba is seated looking straight into the entrance. We then went through a narrow passage carved into the rock. There were a few places where we could not stand straight due to its height. This led us to a platform with spiral steel steps. After the spiral steps, there was a steel steps that slightly tilted to the left through the narrow gap between the mountains. The gap between the mountains was so thin and we started to panic. There were rock steps made for ease. There was no light and the rock was very cold. The smell of bats made it seem haunted. We didn't carry torches, so we switched on our phone flashlights and started climbing up. We reached another platform and noticed another wave that went down. We decided to check that out on our way back and continued climbing up. We reached the top platform where a few people were already gathered. We realized we were almost at the top of the first hill. There was a path that went further up and we took it to climb higher. History says that the British tried to capture this hill to use it as a watchtower, but the people from the nearby villages intervened and saved it from British. As proof, there is an Indian flag at the top of Puligundu Rock Mountain. We reached a temple at the top, which has a small pond with water lilies. This is a set of temples featuring Shiva in the Linga form, Devi Parvati, Swami Ayyappa with a miniature 18 steps, Navagrahas, a Nandi facing the Shiva temple, and a Ganesh on the right and Subramanya on the left. We went back to the platform and noticed another tree with bangles and pieces of cloth tied to it. We then walked towards the iron bridge that connects both hills. This is the only way to climb the second hill. The view from the bridge is thrilling. There was a tree with only skin, and we wondered how it had survived so long. When we thought the most difficult part was over, we noticed a path to the top. It was even more challenging than we anticipated, requiring us to sit, crawl, and climb. Just when we thought we were at the end, there was another passage where we had to walk on our knees to pass through. A tree at the end of that passage made it even more difficult. The view from the top of the hills is indescribable. Unlike the first hill, this one had plenty of greenery. We noticed another way to climb down, so we decided to take that instead of crawling or walking on our knees. However, that wasn't easy either. After spending some time at the top, we decided to descend. As planned earlier, we decided to check out the steps that we had seen before. That's when we met a local family who told us to use those steps to climb down. It's a ritual when visiting this temple. You climb up on one route and descend on the other, completing one circumambulation of the hill. Even this route wasn't easy. The steps carved between the narrow gap of the hills and tilted at an angle. The locals started telling up the stories about this place. They explained that this used to be a jungle with leopards and elephants. They also suggested checking out the dairy at the bottom of the hills for refreshments and visiting the other temple at the bottom. As they suggested, we visited Sri Swayambhu Puligundeshwara Temple, which means it was self-born. This is an ancient temple with a snake shrine and an ancient well. Puligundu trek is one of the must-visit trek if you like adventure. This might not be suitable for the beginners, but it's not restricted. Few important tips for those who are planning for this trek. Carry enough water and snacks to keep going. Try to start the trip early morning, as the day can be extremely hot. Be careful with your steps if it's a rainy season, as the rocks can be slippery. Don't lean on any barriers, as they may not be strong. Please carry your trash bag. There is already enough trash on the trail. Happy trekking, and follow me for more contents like this.